Good morning, Rebels, and welcome back into my life. Today I want to talk to you about critique groups. I did a video recently basically about how to deal with criticism from people who don't know what they're talking about, but I think I might have given the impression that you should never open yourself up to critique, when actually a good critique group is absolutely vital to improving yourself as a writer or any other kind of artist. I'm part of two critique groups, one for film and one for writing, and from years of experience with these groups and others like them, I've learned a few things about how to operate best within a critique group. Number one, if you're giving a critique to somebody else, try to make your communication as easy to accept as you possibly can. If they're breaking a hard and fast rule like spelling or grammar, point them to where they can find out what the rule is so that they can learn how to use it in the future. And if you're critiquing them on an artistic fine point, realize that what you're giving them is an opinion, even if it's a very good opinion. How you phrase what you say has a lot to do with it. You know how important semantics are to good writing, well, they're just as important to good critiquing. Don't say things like, "That's overwritten, you need to cut it down." Say, "I look at how you could tighten this. It could really benefit from an editing pass to eliminate any unnecessary words." Now, what's ironic about that is that you've just used a whole bunch of unnecessary words, but you frame the exact same message into something that they can accept very easily. Point them in a helpful direction so that they understand that you don't hate their work. You are trying to help them get their work to the best possible level it can be. Number two, if you're receiving a critique, realize that no matter how much it might bruise your ego, the person giving you the critique is honestly trying to help you improve your art. This doesn't mean they're always right. Sometimes critiques are dead wrong. But no matter what, don't bat back at them. You're defeating the entire purpose of a critique group if you do that. When you argue with a critique, all you're trying to do is change their opinion of your work. First of all, that's probably impossible, and second of all, why do you care? If you disagree with them, you don't have to do what they say. Your best response to any critique, right or wrong, is to say thank you very much and write it down. Then decide for yourself whether you want to take that advice or not. Number three, pay attention to the group. Now this might seem to go against what I just said, but bear with me for a second. If one person is confused by something in your script, take that with a grain of salt. But if 5 people or 10 people or any large portion of the group is confused by the same thing in your script, then there's probably an issue there. Number four, don't argue with the critiques of other people. Here's what happens. A writer, let's call her Alice, submits a piece of writing. Someone in the critique group, let's call him Bob, critiques her writing. Someone else in the critique group, let's call her Clarissa, strongly disagrees with Bob's critique. The wrong thing for Clarice to do is to say anything about Bob's critique. If Clarice argues with Bob's critique, then Bob will argue back. And then maybe Dennis will jump in on Clarice's side and argue back at Bob's counter-argument. Pretty soon the whole group is yelling at each other over critiques and nobody is talking about Alice's writing. So what do you do in this scenario? Let's take it from the top. Alice submits her writing. Bob critiques her writing. Clarice strongly disagrees with Bob's critique. Clarice should approach Alice privately, either in person or in a private message, and tell her that she strongly disagrees with what Bob said and give her the reasons why. This keeps things out of the face of the entire group and keeps everyone focused on what they should be doing, which is critiquing Alice's writing. Now this all sounds great if everybody follows these rules, but let's examine one more part of this. Alice submits her writing. Bob critiques her writing. Clarice, not knowing the right thing to do, attacks Bob's critique of Alice's writing. The correct thing for Bob to say is, "I have given my opinion, Alice can take it or leave it. If you really want to talk about this more, private message me." Keep it away from the group. The point of a critique group is to critique work, not each other. Screw the first 3 rules in this video. If you can just follow this one rule, you'll have a happy, thriving critique group that you can get a lot of benefit out of. Alright, Rebels, those are today's survival tips for you. Yesterday I wrote 3,924 words for you. Can I get a sound effect? And I'm very excited to announce that today I will be finishing Wormspire. Probably. Thanks for watching, Rebels, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Hey, you should totally subscribe to this channel if you want to see more daily updates. And if you like reading good books, I write really good books and you can buy them over there. And if you want awesome merchandise based on those books, like this totally sweet shirt or this really badass iPhone case, you can get that at the merchandise link right down there. And thanks again for watching. I'll see you next time.